Hi, this is Tyler with the Canada Foreclosure Club and Foreclosures Club. And on the line tonight, I have Thane Lance. Thane, are you there?
I am at long last, Tyler. I am here.
Perfect. Well, tonight what we're going to do is teach you basically about fix and flip real estate investing. So basically finding a property, how to find a property, put some value into it and sell it for more than you bought it for in a short amount of time and help you make a more or less a quick dollar. I guess if there were a quick dollar to make in real estate, this would be one of the ways you could do it. Do you agree, Thane?
It's one way. It's definitely not. It's probably not no money down, and it does take some time. Usually about at least a couple of weeks, probably closer to 2-3 months per flip. But there is substantial people are there. There are lots of people making substantial amounts of money.
Absolutely.
Doing fix and flipping up. I'm more traditionally just a flipper. I'll find a deal and then flip it out as quickly as possible. Then I don't have a lot of money tied up. But you can make substantially more money doing fixing and flipping up than you can just doing traditional flipping model.
100% agreed.
So we want to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
From here.
Perfect.
All right. So what we're going to be presenting tonight is one of the more advanced models of real estate investing. It takes, as I mentioned, a lot more credit up front. It takes a lot. You have to find different types of deals that are able to be a fix and flip potential. And there's a lot more work involved. There's general contractors, there's materials, there's labor. We'll be going on all those risks, but there's also some substantial rewards. It's quite a profitable way. Like there's some flippers that make on average $50,000 to $100,000 per flip, and then do one or two every 2 months. So it's a way to make a substantial amount of money. And then it's usually the same sort of problems each time. So it's the same sort of opportunities. You can eventually develop a business and a system around to address everything. So we'll get started. All right, so first we're going to find out what the difference between a speculator and an investor is. And we've heard the term speculator, but want to really define what it is and how does it actually differ from an investor. And then if we're flippers or fix and flippers, are we investors or are we speculators? So as I define it, and a couple other people, Don Campbell, for example, defines speculators quite well. They usually have no plan. They're just going to be, they want to buy at whatever price there's at. There's a big rush. Everyone else is buying. Now's the time to buy. Let's buy at the height of the market. And then what happens, everyone else is selling. The market's crashed. Time to sell. So these are speculators usually. They can make a lot of money if they get lucky. And they usually just buy something and then rent it out, maybe small positive cash flow, or a lot of people like downtown Vancouver buy $300,000 to $400,000 condos, don't finance them very well, and they're negative cash flow, $200-300 a month. They think that's an investment. That was a pure speculation. They bought it hoping for appreciation, and they're hopefully right over the longer term, but it's not a great. Investors are a lot more strategic about the decisions they make, and they make a lot more money. So, speculator versus investor. There it is. All right, investors, on the other hand, they do their homework. They use a calculator, a profit calculator. They find out what their expenses, what their costs are going to be, and then they find out how much revenue they're going to be making, and they make sure they make profit going in. So they definitely follow a specific plan. They calculate all the risks involved. They anticipate those risks. They build in a budget. They're not often surprised. When there's problems resulting, they have a plan for that. They built in what's called a contingency budget. They built in 5%, 10%, 15% contingency budget set aside just in case the sky falls in on them. So they don't often get surprised on projects. So at the fix and flip, remember when we used to drive in like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago? We used to drive around our neighborhoods, and there was always these one or two really rickety old houses that people just drove by and say, what the heck's going on there? And then all of a sudden in the the middle 90s, late 80s, middle 90s, early 2000s, these houses started disappearing. And then all of a sudden these condos started coming up. And they were torn down and these new houses started coming up. And they were always fixed up and taken off the market as really dilapidated houses. And like generally nice neighborhoods became a lot more nicer. And what happened there was a lot of real estate investors like us found the idea of putting in a little sweat equity, building up the house, fixing it up, and selling it for a profit. They started getting more and more popular as the 80s, 90s, 2000s came along. And I'm going to show you some right as in front of us today. There's some amazing TV shows that present this opportunity for people, explain all the ins and outs, and I'm going to give you my advice on two of the best ones to watch. And they're just becoming very popular. Everyone wants to do it themselves. They know they can buy a house for, say, $100,000, fix it up, and sell it off for $250,000, and that's common. And the numbers like that happen all over the place across the country. So that's what's happened to all those old houses in some middle-range, nicer neighborhoods. Is they got bought up by investors who fixed them up and improved the neighborhood across the board. So the benefits of a fix and flip strategy: number one, generates cash, lots and lots of chunks of cash. After the project's completed, you're going to get a big paycheck at the end. It's a somewhat of a short-term venture. Again, a buy and hold is you buy and hold for at least minimum 5 years. So flipping is not a 5-year buy and hold. Flipping is a probably 2 to 4 to 6 month project at the most. So if you're not out of it by 6 months, something is wrong. So that's a lot more short-term adventure. You can start turning around deals, and that's where your real money's made. If you make 50% on a deal, it's great. But if you make 50% on a deal over 6 months, you do 2 of those deals, you've just made 100% return. So it works pretty much in any market. There's deals out there for properties people are giving away for 20, 30, 40% below what they'll sell for when fixed up. So it works in any market: Vancouver, Calgary, Victoria, any place in Alberta, any place in Ontario, and Manitoba's great, Saskatchewan's great. So pretty much not too many places where this doesn't work. You can be done it a part-time. You can be putting a couple of hours every single day into fixing stuff up, or over the weekend. It could be a long-term project, or you can do it full-time. So, and then part-time, if you're doing well financially, you're a professional, you can hire contractors who do all the work for you. So you just manage it on a part-time basis. You provide the money, you provide the investment, so to speak, and then they take care of all the details. It doesn't require a lot. It does, and it doesn't. So I'm going to give you some ideas on how we can put as least amount of money into a project. But again, there's often problems in this business model. So you're going to have a cushion or at least a line of credit or something to draw from just in case. But in the relative scheme of things, it doesn't require a lot of money. You can put in $5,000 or $10,000 into a condo. Put some new flooring in, some new paint, some new kitchens, some new bathroom, like maximum $5,000 or $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, and you can sell it for an extra $20,000. So it doesn't require a lot of money going in. And anyone can take advantage of this opportunity. It's available to anyone. So I put it out into a basic 5-step process. So first, you got to find a deal. You got to analyze a deal. You got to purchase the deal, arrange your financing on it. You got to fix it up in a cost-efficient manner. And you got to sell the property for a profit. So what I've done is it's quite an extensive presentation tonight. It's probably about a 2 or 3 hour presentation, so I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. What I'm going to do is make sure Tyler records everything and post it up on the website, so you guys can just come back. Because if I go fast through things, and I tend to speak pretty fast, I know the material, and it's an interesting interesting material to me. I am going to go through it fast, but just watch the presentation a second time, a third time, and make sure you go through the slides pretty carefully. So I'll be going through. So I'll be speaking quickly tonight because there's about 40, 50 slides to go through. So otherwise, we're going to be here for 2 or 3 hours. So first, we want to find a deal. So you develop your specific investment criteria. So area, what A class area, B class area, C class area. Generally, you want to stay away from the C class areas. The best thing to do is find what I call a C rundown property, C grade property, in a B class or lower A class neighborhood. That's where the most profit's going to be made in. So you want to be specifically targeting these criteria on your investment. So price, what condition the property is, what condition you're willing to accept the property in. So if the property is burnt down to 80, so that 80% of it's gone, are you willing to accept that and rebuild it all from scratch? Or do you just want something that needs a little bit of, as like Ozzy Jerk says, needs some lipstick? So make the outside, maybe do some landscaping, put in $1,000 worth of paint, and you want to flip it for a couple $1,000 profit. So where the location you want to go, condition, etc. So then you want to